The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry. I would like to show you the 12 commandments listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. These commandments are the agreement between our Creator and His nation Israel, and they agreed with our Creator that any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded them to bring Him a sin offering to their priest to be forgiven of their sin. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Now I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 20, verse 26, the word bars to arches. And the words now reveal the style of the roof for His tent for meeting with Him, and the roof style for the house for meeting with Him. So who has been editing the first writer's words to hide this knowledge from you? Let me show you their words from the 1611 preface, which the translators inserted into the front of the English King James Bible in 1611. They gave 4 reasons for themselves to edit the Bible. The one I want to show you is the red arrow at the top, which points to the 3rd reason. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the divine, to a clerk named Gregory. Now the next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome changed our Creator's calendar by setting the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice how the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. And you can also see they have an Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's courtyard. The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and a participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. In their own words, I will say those men were not seeking to help people who are seeking knowledge from the first writers writing in the Hebrew text. I have an old Bible program that I use to help find a better word from the New American Standard's 1977 Concordance, which has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. My revealing of the first writer's words will make the text read like the first writer had wrote them, and their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. Time to open it up and take a look. Lights. Okay. Now, as I usually start off by telling you that the parentheses are text that they found in a few manuscripts, so they decided to add the text. Don't believe them. This is just wrong. But I have found maybe a few times out of 100 or 200,000 words. And like it says above, I'm going to just look for sentences and start dividing the text up. And I know you can't see them all the way off to the edge, but that's okay. They'll be brought down when I start making the text off to the side, shortening up the verses. You'll see these 2 letters here. This is our Creator's name. What I did was I shortened it up to 2 little letters. You'll find Strong's Concordance has these letters. He suggests these 2 names. Hebrew language, sometimes the H on the end is silent, so you might see it written like this some places. But they didn't have no J, O, or W in their language. So the thing here is this word farther away than this word. Okay, so that's what I've done. Just tried to use two letters in. If you pronounce them by the Hebrew way, you'll be closer than the way I'm pronouncing them. I use the English pronunciation, YV, and that way we know, at least we have a name for our Creator. It's not a title. His name is not a title. The word God is a title. Okay. Now, why do I have that in that red letter? Because when I go over here to the text, what I do is I want to click on this to see what word it is here in Hebrew. And this one is El. And if you notice, down here it means God. Yet over here they're saying they don't want to show you that God whatever is what they're calling this man's name. But the object is they use it for God many times. But El is not always used that way. If I go down here and pull up this, you can see the word El here is used for these and those for 8 times. And then El down here is used for all these words here. Strong's actually listed EL as like this here number right here, and then this number 12 is missing. But if you notice all these words down here, it does not mean God. So that's just the weirdness of what's going on here in the text behind the scenes. So the thing here is what I have found most of the time is when they're using the word El, they're comparing outside gods to related to likeness of our Creator as like their God versus our God type of thing, where their God is an idol and has a temple. Our Creator has a tent for meeting with Him or a house for meeting with Him to ask for an atonement for not obeying the 12 commandments. And those our Creator demanded a sin offering, so those are defined as a sin, those 12. So I see another one here in 6. Let's take a look at that. What does 6 here? It's a little bit off the board. Here it is. Elohim. Now this word in Hebrew, what I've done is I actually went and pulled every one of these verses out, read them, and found well, excuse me. I found that by studying them, that it means our Creator. Now, when I say that, I want you to notice that how well our Creator works here, because in the beginning, because He's creating things. Our Creator spoke things into existence, or spake things into existence. Our Creator said, "Let there be light." Then our Creator saw light was good. Our Creator called the daylight, and the darkness He called night. And that was one day. But the thing here is all the verses go through and you'll find the word our Creator. A couple times in the Psalms, it was just so perfect fitting that I guess I should have saved them to show you, but maybe if I make a note to self, I will do that. But right now, as the text above here says, I'm just going to cut the new sentences here. YV is my rock and my fortress, my deliverer, my God, my rock my rock whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Wow, there's a lot of my shield and the horn of my salvation. I call upon YV, who is worthy to be praised, and I am saved from my enemies. The cords of death encompass me. The torrents of the ungodly terrify me. Ungodliness. I have a hard time relating the title God in any form. It takes away from the title God. Being man can be compared as a god or become a god. So the thing here is that word will be changed. The cords of Sheol, which I have described before, it's the abyss. I've studied the text, and what it does is acts like as if it's a city inside the abyss. But other than that, I can get into that a little later if you have a question about it. The snares of the cords confront me. I am in my distress. In my distress, I call upon YV. I cry to my God for help. He heard my voice out of his temple. Now, right now, I'm telling you, the word temple means paganism that puts a image of their God in it, and he has no temple. Our Creator does not have a temple. He appears to the priest for them to ask for that head of the family who is bringing the offering for their atonement, a sacrifice, so they can make an offering to our Creator and ask for forgiveness. So the thing here is it's all about atonement in front of our Creator. So it's not, the word temple is definitely wrong. So now you know the writer doesn't understand the difference between the two. And my cry for help before him came to his ears. Then the earth shook and quaked. The foundation of the mountains were trembling, and they were shaken because he was angry. Smoke went out of his nostril. Okay, now we have a volcano god here, and the fire from his mouth devoured coals were kindled by it. Okay, now I've been saving some text that just has some of these weird things like eat up my people whose belly you did fill with your treasures, or even his eyelids test the sons of men, or somebody can destroy the foundations of the earth. So I got to add this text to this stupidness. In fact, I think I'm going to grab all of them here. And this can be found in Psalm 18, okay? So just to say that if you want to go take a look at your Bible to see if that's what you've got, it's strange to find out that your God is a volcano god, that smoke just went out of his nose. And fire out of his mouth. So that's not good. And the foundations of the mountains were trembling and just shaken because he was angry. Is that how you describe an earth shook back then in their day? But anyway, we know that this is not this is not going to make the text. We know that the writer is not being truthful here. So I don't care if it meets a 3-verse format or not. That text ain't going to make it. He bowed the heavens. How do you bow the heavens? Okay. We need to look at some of the words in the concordance to see if they have a more reasonable word than bows the heavens. He also came down with thick darkness under his feet. And he rode a cherubim. He rode an angel and flew like our creator needs to. Man, this one's really, really, these got some winners here. Let me see this. He sped on the wings of the wind. Well, I need to add this to that text. Just to say that, hey, Christians, how stupid can you be to say that every word in the Bible is true? He rode a cherub. I can't believe that crap. And he sped on the wings of the wind. No. He came down in the thick darkness under his feet. Yeah. Yeah, I think all of that. Anyways, I'm saving them because there are so many of them that when you see that, those are, I'm going to have to make a slideshow in a new intro to show all the things, how the text is like that. That's in the text, not the text is like that, but it's in the text. So, he made darkness his hiding place. Now, why would he do that? And his company around him, darkness of waters, the clouds of the sky. From the brightness before him, past his thick clouds, hailstone and coals of fire. Also thunder in the heavens, and the Most High uttered his voice, and hailstones and coals of fire. He sent out, our Creator needs arrows. He sent out his arrows, and scattered them like lightning flashes in abundance, and routed them, whoever they routed. Oh, this is going to be fun. Then the channels of the waters appeared. Oh, this is kind of like how creation happened. Rewriting Genesis here. Then the channels of water appeared. Oops, I got quick there. And the foundations of the earth were laid bare at your rebuke, YV. And at the blast of your breath from your nostrils, he sent from on high and took me. Whoops. He drew me out of many waters. Okay. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from those who hated me, for they were too mighty for me. They comforted me in the day. They comforted me in the day my calamity. But who were they? Who confronted me and who are they? Those that hated. Okay. He brought me forth also into a broad place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. YV has rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands, he encompassed me. I have kept my way uprightly, and I have not wickedly departed from my God. See, what happens when you put his name up there and then they give him a title? That's just so weird. But that's what's happening here. For all his ordinances were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. Okay, now here's the thing. There are two statutes. One starts with Abraham, and that's circumcision. The second statute is that they must celebrate his Passover, or his passing over their firstborn sons for 8 days. So what statutes is he did not put away his statutes from him, or from me. I did not put away his statutes from me. How can they do that from me? I was also blameless with him. That's one way of talking about our Creator. I was blameless with him and kept myself from iniquity. And therefore YHVH has encompassed me and recompassed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands and his eyes, with the kind that you did show you thyself kind. With the blameless, you did show yourself. With the pure, you did show yourself pure. Can anybody explain that to me? This is just junk. There's just so much stupidity of not understanding our Creator. With the crooked, you did show yourself astute. Now, why would when did he do that? Tell me, what story did he do that? You did save an inflicted people, not our inflicted people from Egypt, but with haughty eyes, you did abase who? Them? But you did light my lamp, YHVH. My God illuminates my darkness. For by you I can run upon a troop, and by my God I can leap over a wall. Very impressive. As for God, his way is blameless. The word of YHVH is tried, and he is a shield to all who take refuge in him. Who is God but YHVH? And who is a rock except our God? The God who girds me with strength and makes my way blameless. He makes my feet like hinds' feet and sets me upon my high places. High places is referred to offerings to the goddess in Ra and his daughter. And by that, I got to just show you, this is in Malachi 2:11. This is talking about the nation of Judah. Now, Israel already has been taken away by Assyria, okay? And I believe the last three were taken away by Assyria as well. So, but anyway, it says, has married the daughter of a foreign god. This is done by meditating to have a sex with her. Now you're going to say, what you just say? Okay, well, let me explain what all these pictures are for then. This is what goes on with inside their body, that they're sitting and meditating, okay? And how the serpent comes up their backbone and all of a sudden they have wings and they're flying. Are these the wings that our Creator flew in the wind? Search for this word here, and it's still on the web, but these come off the web. So this is just funny to see and know what the truth really is, that's what they do. They're meditating to have a sex with a so-called female goddess. The female goddess has this moon attached to her. Okay. So the thing here is yeah, that's just the moon goddess. Okay. So actually in the Bible, there are 3 names for her right here. So you thought I was making that stuff up, but now you know that it's in the text and they have names for her. But these are the high places that were throughout the land when they started praising her. I'll just say that and I'll continue. But that's what these high places are. So set me upon my high places. What does... he trains my hands for battle, so my arms can bend a bow of bronze. You have also given me the shield of your salvation, and your right hand upholds me, and your gentleness makes me great. You did enlarge my steps under me, and my feet have not slipped. Now, I had trouble with the last psalm because it used that word, and I needed to say slip from our Creator. I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn back until they were consumed. I shattered them so that they were unable to rise. They fell under my feet. You did gird me with strength for battle. You have subdued them. You have subdued under me those who rise up against me. You have made me my enemy. You have also made my enemies turn their backs to me, and I destroyed those who hate me. They cried for help, but there was none to save. Even to YV, but he did not answer. He's talking about you, and all of a sudden it's a he here again. Then I beat them fine as dust before the wind. I emptied them out as myrrh in the street, as shit in the street. Myrrh is shit. Okay. Just to be truthful. You have delivered me from my contentions of the people. You have placed me as head of the nations. A people whom I have not known serve me. As soon as they hear, they obey me. Foreigners submit to me. Foreigners fade away. and come trembling out of their fortress. YV lives. Blessed be my rock, and exalted be the God of my salvation. The God who executes vengeance for me and subdues people under me. See, we've got a separate God from YV here that's doing one thing, but he lives. And then when you put his name in, these other titles just are really buggy. So, the God who executes vengeance for me and subdues people under me. He delivers me from my enemies. Surely you did lift me up above those who rise up against me. You did rescue me from violent men. Therefore I give thanks to you among the nations, YV, and I will sing praises to your name. He gave great deliverances. He gives great deliverance to his king and shows his love kindness to his anointed, to David and his descendants forever. Now, sneaking David's name in at the end kind of makes it a psalm from David. David wouldn't say this to him. Okay, now that was pretty long, but I don't know if any of it's true. I mean, let me just check the text out here. Psalm of David. David would not say what we just found at the end here. Okay. So that just to David and his descendants. He wouldn't call himself David. Just saying. If he's the guy that wrote it, he wouldn't say that. He wouldn't even have it wrote that way. Even the guy that wrote it wouldn't write it that way for him. So, yeah, that's all out. Delivered from the hand of his enemies and from the hand of Saul. Now, the hand of Saul was trying to kill him after he realized that he's going to become king, and his Saul's son Jonathan is not going to become a king because he didn't obey our Creator. Samuel gave him a message from our Creator to go kill everything of Amalek's, and he brought back a bunch of animals that he was going to kill and sacrifice to our Creator, like the other gods have sacrificed to them. And so Saul didn't really understand our Creator that well, but that's when he didn't obey. So our Creator gave him a chance that he was going to be king, but he just didn't fulfill the order he was given. And so Samuel told him, you didn't listen to him, and now he's mad, and you aren't going to be the king through the promise of other kings, from the promise from Abraham. Now, if you're going to say, what am I talking about, the promise to Abraham, I will show you. Here's text from Genesis 17:6. And this is when he changed his name from Abram to Abraham. And he says, kings shall come forth from you, and he will establish his promises, not a covenant. A covenant is just one type of thing, but he makes promises over many hundreds of years. So to establish my promises between you and your descendants. And then here, all nations of the earth will be blessed. Well, you don't know what that's talking about until you really come down here, and it's saying from your seed, which reinforces shall come forth from you, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed because you have obeyed my voice. This promise to Abraham was most likely passed down, and they would have known that story. So when Saul realized that it's not going to be him, kings through him, he went and tried to kill David because David started doing great things and always giving our Creator credit. David put our Creator ahead of himself, like other righteous men. So it says, I love you, YV, my strength. YV is his strength. I love you, YV, for you are my strength. YV, you are my rock and fortress, and my deliverer, my God. And this is L, E-L. And I'm seeing that it just kind of breaks here. My rock in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call upon YV, who is worthy to be praised. I mean, if you don't realize that you're supposed to praise your Creator, there's something wrong. Why does that even have to be written? Okay. And I am saved from my enemies. That isn't true. Until you understand the promise to David that through his son's seed will have a king in heaven, then people are going to go to heaven, which is the only text that tells us that we're going to heaven. And here, I am saved from my enemies. Down in Sheol, or down in the abyss. The cords of death surround me, and the torrents of the ungodliness terrified me. Now this, David had no fear because he knew our Creator. I mean, he went against Goliath. So what king, what prophet would have to say something like this? And none of them. I can't remember one story in any of the books that describes this. So who can write this? There's only a few people that can write the text to actually be saved, to be read and taught to or from. And that would be, one would be a prophet, the other would be a judge, the other would be a high priest, then the king. And then it would be a scribe summing up the story of what our Creator did for them. Otherwise than that, there's no other text that would, and that is just not true. The cords of the abyss surround me, and snares of death confront me. This can't happen. This cannot happen. Let me blow this stuff up. This cannot happen. The cords of abyss surround me. This would mean that you're dying, okay? And the snare of death confronted me. And the traps of death confronted me. No, they can't confront you. You're dying. The snares of death confronted me. I could change a lot of the words to make it be right, but why? I don't want to make the text mine. In my distress, I called upon YV and cried to my God for help. Verse 6 here, and this is Elohim, which means our creator. And why does it mean our creator? Because I'm one of them crazy guys that actually pulled out all 2,325 verses and read each one to feel, why is the title God here? When if I say our creator, go through all these, it sounds like our creator because in the beginning he's creating. So then I took him through all the verses, and only a few times did not our creator fit. Out of, I think there was less than 20 verses out of all these that the word God fit better, or the title God fit better than our creator. So that's why I used the words our creator, or the title our creator here in this one. So it would be creator. Now in my distress I called upon YV and cried to my creator for help. He heard my voice not of his temple. My cry for help before him came into his ears, came to his ears, came to his ears. Then the earth shook and quaked, and the foundations of the mountains were trembling, and they were shaken. Well, we know that this is too stupid. He bowed the heavens, and he also came down in thick darkness under his feet. Now, when did that happen? When can we say any of that happened? Because the only time he was shown to many people was in Egypt. He bowed the heavens. That isn't true. He made the heavens. The heavens. Did you notice that I said three heavens? Three heavens. Where the birds fly are one heaven. The mountain that's called Mount Zion starts from the North Star, and the star's motion creates this mountain, Mount Zion, and that's the second heaven. And our Creator lives above the North Star in heaven. So when Jesus turned to heaven and asked to feed many, now you know where he was looking. Where Moses looked to heaven and raised his staff and asked for the plague to start. So he also came down with a thick darkness under his feet. No, nobody ever seen him with his feet on a cloud, so that is just a lie. He rode on a cherubim and flew in speed. No, he didn't do that either. He made darkness his hiding place, his canopy. Never. Our Creator, he doesn't. Like, who's he hiding from? I mean, what kind of stupid words are those? Gee, I could put this whole thing in that stupid column of the writer not understanding. From the brightness before him passes his thick clouds, hailstone and coals of fire. No. He also thundered in the heavens, and the Most High uttered his voice. And then hailstones and, yeah. He doesn't have arrows. Boy, if there's if there's any text that says from 2,700 years ago how pagans believed in a God and how they would present him to other people, and not even a smart guy writing about a God, and then trying to make our creator this God, this is really, really shameful writing. Then the candles of prayer and the foundations were laid bare at your rebuke, and the blast from your breath from your nostrils. How can your breath come out your nose? I'm just saying. He sent from on high and took me. He drew me out of many waters. Now, I don't know of any king or prophet that was drowning in waters, let alone being able to say many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from those who hated me, for they were too my... Okay, now that's possible. Now that's possible, okay? They confronted me in the day of my... In the day, the one day of his calamity. But Wyvie was my stay. He brought me forth also into a broad place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. Well, this is definitely not true. This is just too hard to actually make true. But these, that's okay. He rescued me because he delighted me. That's possible. Wyvie has rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hand. The cleanness of his hands. If this was a king who went out and fought, he had blood on his hands, and just like our Creator told David, you can't even build my house because your hands are bloody. So the thing there is according to the cleanness of my hands, then that would be Solomon. But it wasn't according to his righteousness because our Creator appointed him. There's no king, there's no even prophet, there's not even a judge or anyone that this is just too far gone. That's just not true. I have kept your ways. I have kept the ways of Wyvie. Have not wickedly departed from my God. 21, is that our Creator again, or is this L? 21. This is our Creator. So this... For I have kept the ways of Wyvie, the ways. I have not wickedly departed from my... You can't do it wickedly. You're evil or you're not. You're either for our Creator or you're not for our Creator. Not for our Creator is evilness. And have not departed from my Creator. For all his ordinances were before me. And not ordinances, they were statutes, commandments, laws, and then guidance. All his commands were before me. That would have to be that word there. And I did not put away his statutes from me. You can't put them away. For all his commands were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. That's just sad. I was also blameless with him, and I kept myself. No, this is just what can I say? Nobody can be blameless before our Creator. Everybody's done something wrong. So the thing here is, I was also blameless with him. With him, meaning our Creator. With him. Like one-on-one, I was blameless with him. No. Therefore YV has recompassed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyes. In his eyes with kindness. You do show thyself kind. Nope, that's just out here. With the kind you did show thyself kind. With the blameless, you showed yourself blameless? Like, how does our Creator, who is kind, that our Creator would show himself kind or blame with pure? This is idiot. I'm going to have to get one of them great big buttons that you push that there's a fire alarm that this guy's a nut. And with the crooked, you did show yourself astute. Like our Creator has to make himself seen to people. For you did save an afflicted people, by haughtiness eyes you did abase them. This would be taking them out of Egypt. The only time he saved an afflicted, our afflicted people. But their haughty eyes you did abase. Out. You notice how these are pieces, and everything else I have found before is grouping of small paragraphs. And they're much better wrote than these. For you did light my lamp, YV. My God illuminated my darkness. I don't think so. And to come from here to here and to say that, and those are the only two words out in the middle that don't hook to anything, done for. By you I can run upon a troop, and by my God I can leap over a wall. But what does that prove? What's so special about that? As for God, his way is blameless. You're going to judge our Creator as blameless. No. The word of YV is tried, and he is a shield to all who take refuge in it. The word of YV is tried. Who can test our Creator and then tell us he's okay? That's what I get out of that. And I can't, I'm sorry. I take every word literally as it is, and that doesn't sound right to me. He is a shield to all who takes refuge in him. Okay, that's possible. For who is God but YV? And who is a rock except our God? The God who girds me with strength and makes my ways blameless. He makes my feet like hinds' feet and sets me upon my high places. Now, this right here, this is going to shock you. Makes my feet like hinds' feet. This is on the Vatican, okay? Makes my feet like hinds' feet. Half man, half beast. That means, and this is being discussed between these guys about this information here. And just looking for more, if I got some, because this is what happens for a female. Notice her feet become like an owl. And if you ever heard about how Harvard gets together, their special high society guys all go to this owl goddess. But they have this female goddess that rises in the night, and this was your Super Bowl 2000 Super Bowl halftime show. And the song that they were singing was Two Worlds. One world, two people. One world, two different people. People that know about the goddess and those that don't know about the goddess. But this hind's feet are these symbols here. And now let me tell you something. Once a year, a male's maleness retracts inside his body like an animal. That is the mark of the beast. So he makes my feet like hinds' feet and sets me upon my high places. So now you know who is writing this text. He is definitely not one who knows our Creator. He is the one that is definitely married the daughter of a foreign god. Okay? And he's doing all these things. So he's not a good guy. So with that information, I think I can throw out all the text now. Now that I'm revealing that answer, this is not connecting to anything. Your gentleness makes me great. You did enlarge my steps, and my feet did not slip. Pursued my enemy, overtook him until they were consumed. Until they were killed, not consumed. But it's possible they stole some text here, so I shattered them so that I shattered them so they were not able to rise. They fell under my feet. I killed them so they were not able to rise. I injured them so they were not able to rise. They fell under my feet. For you did gird me with strength for battle. You have subdued them under me. Those who rose up against me, or against us, you have also made my enemies turn their backs to me, and I destroyed those who hated me. They cried for help, but there was none to save, even to Ivy, but he did not answer them. Now he's talking you, and all of a sudden he doesn't know our Creator. I beat them like fine dust before the wind. This here, it's a double of whatever's being said here, and it's crudely being said that way. Ivy, you did deliver me from the contention of the people, and you have placed me as head of the nations. And that the nations would be tribes. A people whom did not know me serve me. That's not true. That's not true. Did deliver me. This is not true. Everybody knew who was David or any other king that would have been fighting for him. As soon as they hear, they obey. Foreigners submitted to me. See, that's just it. As soon as they heard him. But up here, they did not know him. And they serve him. So they came trembling out of their fortresses. Some of this does sound like possibly David's last battles. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get his last battle here, just to show you my thoughts of where some of this text is coming from. David had sent people, or his men, advisors, consultants, to talk to the son of this king. His father had died, and the people there that he was listening to said, they're sent out the spies because he's going to take our land. And these guys up here, Aram, they seem to be in cahoots with him. And they said, okay, well, let's gather together and we're going to go battle David. Then David goes out and he's conquering these all the way up to the Euphrates. Okay, and down here, yes, he took them and he made them all subject. And when it says in Daniel, when they're talking, or not Daniel, but Ezra, when they're talking about there was this great nation, they were a great nation, and everybody paid tribute to them. David started making them pay tribute to him because when Solomon ruled, all these guys paid them tribute. Okay, this is where David got all his silver and gold and bronze, collected it to make the utensils and to create a house for our Creator. So the thing here is did they have fortresses that he probably up in here they did. I don't think they had any fortresses here because the battle I can't think of who was David's commander at that time, but David divided. David went this way and his commander went down here to fight, to divide them and win. So the thing here is that's the last battle that would have came trembling out of their fortresses. YV lives, blessed. YV does not live. Our Creator is. Okay, it's a small word, but it is so huge. There is no Alpha, Omega. There is our Creator. Done. Can't say Alpha, Omega, beginning, the end, whatever. Just not true. He is. So YV lives is wrong. YV is. And blessed be my rock. You cannot bless our Creator. And exalted be the God of my salvation. The God of my salvation. This salvation is related to Jesus. Jesus becomes a savior for them, and then they understand they have a salvation. Until they don't understand a savior, they don't have salvation. Bless me, this is just wrong. Executes vengeance for me. Oh, no. He delivers me from my enemies. No, he lets them go head on against him. Surely he did lift me up above those who, yeah, against me. He didn't deliver me from his enemies. Did rescue me from violent men. He had no fear of losing. Excuse me. I mean, you're talking about a guy that took on Goliath with the words that, hey, that's just some uncircumcised guy, and he's not believing in our Creator who created us. He's done for. I mean, that's a a 13-year-old, 14-year-old doing this. So don't tell me he changed his life like he's got fear in there. And I'm thinking, okay, what other king did this? Let's go back. Let's go back to when Moses is taking them through on the eastern side of the Jordan River. Nope. They go into the promised land and they go through there. So this would be Joshua. Okay. Possibly Joshua's words right there. Okay. So I got to leave that. Therefore, I give thanks to you among the nations. These are tribes. These are not nations. These are tribes. Okay. And I will praise your name. He gives great deliverance to his king. Now, see, this can't be from Joshua if we're going to start having king. Gives great deliverance to his kings. Have to be S, if anything, to be among them, and shows love kindness to his anointed. His anointed king, it doesn't, there's only 2 times that our Creator allows the oil from his table that's in his meeting room with him to be used by a prophet or the high priest to fulfill the statute for the priest, which means Moses had poured oil upon the priest's heads before they could enter into the house. So that was most likely repeated for priests that were going in to do the service for our Creator. Some might call it ministering. And then David told a prophet to go get the oil and anoint Solomon. Now, Elijah, I can't ever remember until I'm actually reading the text who's who, because they were right after each other, or they were together at some point. But the thing here, it was the second one that went and told him to get the oil and go up there and pour it on Jehu's head, and he's going to be a king. So it was probably most likely for a king as well. I don't think it was for the judges, because according to the book Samuel, we have Eli, who seems to be a judge after he leaves the high priest's job. And that's how the judges, that's the only reason why we have who became a judge. It was the highest, most righteous men unto our Creator from the Levites got to work in there. And then to be the highest priest had to be the most righteous to our Creator, most obedient, became judge. So, but here great deliverance to his kings, and shows love kindness to his anointed. And this we can get rid of and just call it kindness to his anointed. So there's only a few that are anointed, and if they're kings, then they're kings that are being anointed to David and his descendants forever. And the word forever should not exist. David and not his descendants, because that would be children, but sons would have to be here. Okay. Now, I haven't found enough to say that there's a pattern here. So, I love you, YB. I love you, YB. My strength. I don't think that's true here. You are my rock and fortress and my deliverer. Those are poor choices to be talking about our Creator. My rock whom I take refuge. How can you take my rock on in whom I take refuge? You mean there's somebody else? Whom? How do you consider our Creator a whom? I don't see that. And the horn of my salvation and my stronghold. I don't see any of this being really, really truthful or would be said. Like I said, men at this time that were witness our Creator and our Creator was sending prophets to them, they didn't have a belief. They knew our Creator existed. They don't need extra words to say. They just need to tell you his name, and he's our Creator. He created our nation. We're here, whether you like it or not, and we're going to keep you out of our land because we are obeying our Creator, and he has promised us you can't beat us in any battles because we're on to our Creator. And when they got away from being that, then they were sent into captivity. So I call upon YV who is worthy to be praised. That I could never even say those words. And I'm not that righteous, but I could never say those words. So this is, and I am saved from, I call upon YV and I am saved from my enemies. What do I have so far? Let me see it from out here, because I've been working a little close. Oh, I've only got this little text right in the middle. Okay, and then what? Way down here. So let's see if there's anything here that really makes sense. I call upon YV and I'm saved from my enemies. Their cords for the abyss surrounded me. The snares of death confronted me. This is not, no. I call upon YV who saves me in my distress. I call for help. This is a double, not needed. This has to be removed. He heard my voice out of his temple and my cry to his ears. This is just, I don't think any of it's true. He delivered him from my strong enemy and from those who hated me, for they are too mighty for me. He rescued me because he delights in me, for I have kept the ways of YV and have not departed from my Creator. Now that is That's a 4-verse, or that's only a 3-verse. I was going to say this becomes a 4-verse. He rescued me. Kept the ways of YHVH. Delivered me from my strong enemy, those who hated me, for they were too mighty for me. He didn't rescue him because he delighted him. He appointed him. So it's not David. He rescued me because he delighted in me. Joshua. This is sad. This is really sad. According to the cleanest of my hands. This is just, no. That doesn't get it. Now that's a statement, that's a comma, and that's a statement. They grabbed that from somewhere, okay? Because this guy didn't write that. But see, this is a 4-verse. I could force those words to be, or not force, but I'd have to twist pretty hard to get rid of that text there. But those sound like that was from another piece. This might go with that, or 2 verses missing to make that. But it can't be from them. It can't be from them. So they're stuck out in there. And this means nothing. This has nothing. For who is God but YHVH? And our Creator you do not call a rock. Person the enemies overtook him. I did not turn back until they were dead. I shattered them so they fell under my feet. Girded with me strength for battle, he stood under me. Those who rose up against me. Oh, this was a 4-verse. That was the 3-verse. I need to do a cleanup here. Let me just see what I've got, because there's not going to be much, but that is going to be what needs to be looked at without all this crap, to see if they stuck the verses together and said, okay, we knew this was from David, but now we're going to cut it up and make it ours. Because remember here, smokes, the earth shook, fire come out of his mouth, smoke went up out of his nostril. So this has to be down. No. Let me pull these verses together. What's here? He delivered me from my strong enemy. And it wouldn't be and. From those who hated, from those who hated me. He delivered me from my strong enemies, from those who hated me and would be here. And that's out. He rescued me because he delights in me. That just, for I have kept the commands for I have done the commands from YV. I have not departed. I have kept the commands from YV, not to depart, not to depart from my Creator. For all his commands were before me, and I did not turn away, not put, turn away. I did not turn away from his orders, and that's going to have to be gray. It's too far away, but orders to me. For example, David would ask when he was younger yet that he would, when he would hear people raiding our Creator's nation, he would ask the priest, and then our Creator say, "Go ahead and go. I'll keep you around." So that's where I did not turn away from his orders. When he told him to go, he went. I kept all his commands. Before me, and that's by, like I'm saying, he's putting our Creator first. Not depart from my Creator. All his commands were before me. I don't like the word, this one, no. No, not put away. Okay. But that's a 4 verse and this is a 3 verse. I don't know how far apart these are from these, and that's okay. But can I put these two with these? Because those just hook together. That's a small paragraph. This, there has to be a verse missing. I pursued my enemies, because this is what he's talking about. So if this would 4, I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn away I did not turn away until they were. I don't like the word consumed. I would say no more. That they finally fled and there was no more before him, type of thing. So I don't think that's too far of a stretch. I mean, it is a stretch, but it's still tied to the word consumed. I'm making it more truly said. I did not turn away until they were no more. So that's the comma, that's the period. Whoops. Where's you? Away. Period. Now I could skip right from there to there and it sounds good. I just have to add the word for. See that? I shattered them so they were not able to rise. I don't think this would be really how it's said truthfully. For he, David's talking about our Creator, not to him here. If I'm taken from here. For he has girded me with strength. Well, he has strengthened, E-N-E-D. Okay. He has strengthened me for battle. For he has strengthened me for battle. And I don't think I need the first part. For he has strengthened me for battle and has subdued them under my feet, those who rise up against me, comma, period. And then and has to be in here. Oh, I had the word you here. I got to put back. Yep, that's right. So, for he has strengthened me for battle and has subdued them. Oops, under me, those who rose up against me. He has, again, he has made my enemies turn their backs to me, and I destroyed those who hated me. But they rose up against him. That's a double. I don't know if I need a double. He has strengthened me for battle and subdued them under me, those who rose up against me. He has made me my enemies turn their backs to me, and I destroyed those all. No, that's already been said. It's been said up here as well. So I don't need to keep saying that. They cried for help, but there was none to save them, even to YV, but he did not answer them. This, because it's 3 verse, get rid of that. But their God didn't answer them. They cried for help, but there was none to save them. Their God did not answer them. Their God did not answer them. They called for help, none to save, because their God did not answer them. Okay. Oh boy, that is rough. That is rough. As soon as they hear of me, as soon as they hear it's me, they obey me. They obey and submit to me. Obey. I want to put and here. They obey and submit to me. And come trembling out of their fortresses. That sounds about right, right? As soon as they hear it's me, they obey and submit to me, and come trembling from their fortresses. That sounds pretty good. Surely you did lift me above those who rise up against me. You did rescue me from violent men. Now, that has already been said above. So I know that this does not need to be here or need to be reset again, because they already come out trembling from the forest. We already know that. Therefore I give thanks to him among the tribes. And this, I will praise your name. Therefore I'll give thanks to you among the tribes Among the tribes, I will praise your name. I think I'm going to take his name here, even though I'm removing it there. I'm going to put it here and say that I added it there. Therefore I give thanks to YV among the tribes. Therefore I give thanks to YV. For among the tribes, I praise your name. I give thanks to YV. For among the tribes, I praise your name. Don't need the word therefore. He gives deliverance. This being our creator, this being our creator, this being our creator. He gives deliverance to I'm having a hard time right there. I guess I'm going to clean that up just to see what's going on here. Because I think we have words from David here. They're scattered among this, but what started to be so many, like 50 some words, 50 verses, and I don't have that many anymore because that just is stupid. What's smoke comes out as nostrils. Yeah, right. I'm going to leave that there for right now. That was might have been faster if I would have done the find and search, I guess. Find and replace, but okay. He delivered me from my strong enemy. Okay, we're talking about our creator. Deliver me from my strong enemy, from those who hated me and were too mighty for me. He rescued me because he delighted in me. He chose me. that verse would hook with that then. To make it a 3 verse, he rescued me because he chose me, and I have kept the commands from YV. I did not depart from my Creator. All's commands were before me. All's commands were done by me. All's commands and I did not turn away from his orders to me. Okay. He delivered me from my strong enemy, from those who hated me and were too mighty for me. He rescued me because he chose me, and I have kept the commands from YV. I did not depart. I did. Oops. I did not depart. I did not. Oops, I added that. So I just get rid of it. I did not depart from my Creator. All his commands were all's commands were that's I'm going to leave that yellow. I got to get past that. I can't think. My mind went blank every time I get that far. So that's not good, but you clicked this without knowing what was happening. Okay, what I'm doing here is I am finding the hidden formats that are in the Hebrew text. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is Psalms 1 and shows how I'm finding these formats. And if you see like the first grouping here of 3 verses, that's like a small paragraph. And then the next group is another small paragraph, but those 2 hook together to become a larger paragraph. This is a 4-verse format that was found, and I try to put titles on them from what I know of the Bible. I've studied it quite a bit, 28 years, 3.5 hours a day as an average, every day. Now, here you can see there was verses missing, but it reads as if it was missing words, and then there's the format. On the second column there, halfway down, that bunch of lines is to separate it that there's 2 different writers. You can read taste the 2 different writers found here. This one here, that's just another great writing as grouping 2 verses or 2 3-verse formats together all the way through to make a story. That's well done, very neat. Some of these we have are quite interesting and informing because within the text themselves, it has the meaning of, or enough description of the words to tell me who could have wrote it and why. And I go into by showing maps, details, explaining stories and understanding. Say, like example, if the word says like encompass, what does the word encompass mean? I'll say, when our Creator took them out of Egypt and he had them camp around him, They camped by the order of their birth, 3 in the south side. I'm not sure whether the east or west was next, but then 3 there, and then 3 there, and then 3 in the north side. That understanding alone would be knowing as if they were to come to the tent for meeting or his house for meeting our Creator, that if they went to their priest, they knew that this was the order they would find them around there. And simplifying them, though, I'm not simplifying them. I'm trying to correct them with the knowledge our Creator has given me. It's, how else can I say it? Because it's pretty easy to start finding them. Let me pull up something here. Let me show you. Here's 19, okay? And I gotta copy this because this is my, what I would do the next one. But there are steps that I follow that's above me. So what I'll do is I'll take the text, and the first thing I'll do is I'll explain that this is anything with the parentheses comes from other manuscripts. And I just go through, the heavens are telling of the glory of God, and their expanses declaring the work of his hands. Now see how beautiful that 4 verse gets right there? I mean, right off the bat, anybody can do this, okay? And day to day pours forth speech, and night to night reveals knowledge. Now, I have to add words into it, reveals his knowledge, because he established the heavens. There are 3 heavens. Where the birds fly is the first heaven. The North Star is the peak of the Mount Zion. The star's motion creates this mountain for our Creator, and that's the second heaven. And above there, the North Star is where our Creator lives in heaven. And so, example, if you just know that, then you know where Moses turned to heaven and raised the staff to cause a plague, or where Jesus looked and asked for a blessing to feed people. To know all this knowledge is to be able to, that I have this, I can put this into the text and feel like the first writer's words would be appearing. But it's easy to go through because you can see here's a 4 verse and here's a 4 verse. So I know this next one is already going to be a 4 verse. So, but it's just a matter of going through, and I explain a great deal of everything that's there. I got a small story on that. When I first showed, I called a copyright lawyer and told him I copied word from a Bible. But I found these formats, and he said, you can't do that, but I'll give you free time because I want to see what you got. I handed him text that was so vivid. It's from Habakkuk, the prophet Habakkuk. And when he read it, I was watching him, and he slowly, as he's reading, he put that paper down on the table, and he looks at me and says, my God, I felt like I was there when I was reading it, and I'd never done that before with the Bible's text. But that's when he got with the other copyright lawyers, and they all agreed that I can do this. I can own the copyrights by putting it into what's known as legally a different style. And back in 95 and a little earlier, when I told the New American Standard Bible that's the text I'm using, I set them off to all of a sudden everybody had them in paragraphs, verses, sentences, study this, study that, but they made their text so nobody else could copy it word for word and own but they were too late for me. Now, I do have a Bible program that Let me see. Okay, where is that? Main buttons. Oh, here's something interesting. This is what I put in the very beginning of all my, the intro. It's just 3 minutes. But here I changed the word bars to arches. And these actually make the roof for the tent for meeting. So you're seeing what the tent looks like with a roof right here. I'm revealing it. It's all because nobody has ever discovered that this word is really arches. Another thing is here, there's 12 commandments. There they are, right there. You got to count them. They're there. Nobody's ever studied Exodus 1 through 17 but me. So that's just the some of the stuff is just shocking. But when I tell you who is what the translators said when they stuck it into English in 1611, this is from the preface. These are their own words, and their words at the top here give them 4 reasons why they can edit the text. And I thought this one was funny. By the light and feeling we have attained unto ourselves, they were able to correct the text, okay? Down here, they give a great clerk, Gregory, the title the divine, okay, with a capital D. Down here, they were able to agree with the emperor here. My whole life I've been doing this, so real good. Okay, now watch this, because these words there's a meaning behind these words. They're happy that the first Roman emperor, he corrected the calendar. Well, what calendar were they using? Well, after Nebuchadnezzar got done eating grass, he declared our creator, the Hebrew God, is the highest God, and we're going to go by his calendar. So Nebuchadnezzar, actually, all Babylon and up until Rome, did they change it? And they changed it to the year according to the course of the sun. Notice the capital S on the sun. That's giving reference to the sun god Ra from Egypt. And there's an Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's yard, okay? But they're all happy that they changed our creator's courtyard. So this is what I'm doing here. I have the knowledge to actually make it and read it really. It reads really, really good. I mean, if you got a screen capture, go ahead and do some screen capturing and read these, and you'll enjoy them. Because I'm only probably about another half hour, 40 minutes from cleaning up what is probably about 20 verse or 10 of my verses out of their 50 some verses that this text actually is true that I'm doing right now. Because in this one that I'm doing, that they've got our creator blowing smoke out of his nose and fire out of his mouth. There's another psalm that says that somebody can destroy the foundation of the earth. They've got another one where people can eat up my people like bread. Our creator's eyelids test man before me. There's just, in this one is really stupid. I mean, this guy did not understand our creator at all, who our creator is. But it would be used as a good description of how they would try to fool an uneducated person 3,000 years ago about a God. It really is. It's really weird that I've had to throw out a lot of that. But I'm trying to stream and make sure everybody hears this, but I've got quite a few more Psalms. I've done pretty much all the text in the Hebrew side and thrown out a lot of books because they didn't have any kind of formats. But I'll tell you what, if you just copy Daniel and go through it yourself, you're going to be shocked, because Daniel, all but one one chapter is not false. Everything else is just a beautiful format, goes right straight through all the text. So back then, anyone can convince that anything is a god that easily. I don't know if it was that easily, but it lets you in on how uneducated people were about it, that time. Example, when I showed the text that a god could have smoke come out of his mouth or out of his nose and fire out of his mouth, that's an awesome being back then, you know? And he created all this. And then there's a flat land, that there's foundations, that the pillars can be shook, that, you know, then it's kind of like back to the flat land view of the world. And then you find the Hebrews writing with such a sophistication. It is mind-blowing, because some of this text does go back 2,700 years earlier. It's just, because I can start placing the text. Examples, Psalm 16 is going to come up, a great big message here real quick. And that text could only have been wrote after they have come back from Babylon and that right there. Because neither shall you your Holy One go under decay. That words has to come from our Creator telling them about Jesus at the time that when his body died on the cross, that the earth shook and they saw souls arising from the graves. That means Jesus immediately went into heaven, and then he returned, because the next morning when they went to look for his body, it wasn't there. But that text that was said this, who wrote that? At what time? And you realize that Isaiah, he had the vision of Jesus suffering on the cross, to where you look at the king's timeline. This is the king's timeline that I've done according to our Creator's hidden formats, and I haven't even got into them. But this is a true timeline, and they're not really related as this is 39 years. It's these events happen about within his 39 years. And I have an accuracy rate of a plus or minus 2 years over 400 years. And it was surprising that only one digit needed changing in all these numbers on both sides. But Isaiah at this time, he was in here, and this king here with the little letters here, they were onto this female goddess. This guy put his goddess idol into our Creator's meeting room. So it means the priests at that time were onto this female goddess at the time. And Isaiah, somewhere in here, tells us the vision that he sees of Jesus being betrayed and they killed him. So then all this is Jeremiah. We've got the words from Jeremiah, but he doesn't say anything about it. Then Daniel comes back. He rebuilds the house for meeting with our Creator. And then from that time, it is, I'm thinking it's about 200 years before Jesus comes. So that words of he will not undergo decay comes from these missing years that we have no text from except for that little spot saying that. And that to me is the most awesome text out of everything that I can point out or show, that there is no prophet or anyone that we really know of. There is a couple prophets at this time. I think he's Haggai at this time, and another one I can't think right off the bat. But the object is that after they built, we know the house was established. Well, there had to be prophets there until Jesus came, but there is no information. Just like as if I go up here, there's no judges. So there, from Joshua to Eli, there's got to be 300 years of text missing. I think I found a piece from that text, from that time, because just the way the words are being said. And I believe the words were about how priests were, how they lived their life. They would give their money without interest, and they would give their money without worry, even to hurt themselves to help people out. They walked righteously. Righteous means most obedient. Okay, real good. You have a good night, and we'll see you around. I'm glad you stopped by. Take care now. Okay, now where was I? Where was I? I was cleaning up and I was re-editing here. He chose me, and I have kept his commands. Oh, the word before was questionable. For I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn away until there was no more. For he has strengthened me for battle, period, and has subdued them under me, those who rose up against me. They cried for help, but there was none to save. Their God did not answer them. You have delivered me from... This is out of place. So that text is going to be gone. As soon as they hear it's me, they obey and submit to me, and come trembling out from their fortresses. I gave thanks to YV, for among the tribes I praise your name. He gives deliverance to his kings and shows... But this can't be true. This here is out. That's not David speaking. David would not speak of himself. This text is from David. And it's his last battles that he's talking about here, summing up all his life's battles. Because this here, when they came out trembling from him, like I showed the map, let's see, I'll show it again before I get too far. He had this battle in his last days in Jerusalem, and he fought these guys. He fought these guys, his commander fought these guys down here. But after that, it was they paid tribute to Solomon, all Solomon's years. So when you read of Daniel, not Daniel, but when they return in Ezra, that there's a conflict between the people that are living on the east side of the Jordan River compared to those in Jerusalem, and they sent notice to the king of, I don't know if it's Babylon or Persia at that time, and then he said that this was a strong area down here, and the kings down here had tribute paid from around, so check out how strong, because if they gain their strength back, they're going to reject you. But this is what David had conquered and gathered all tribute from these around him. So a lot of that text of when up in here about coming out of their fortresses here has to be this words from David. There's nobody else that goes out and does this. So the words are from David. And there's not much left. But it's a piece, but I'm going to, like I said, take all the pieces that I know that I can certainly say from David. I will see how many pieces can go together as a puzzle and put the puzzles together, or the pieces together, to see what the puzzle looks like at the end. Because I know that some of them do already. I've been there, done that. So, but let's see here. Okay. He delivered me from my strong enemies, from those who hate me, and who were mightily for me. He rescued me because he chose me, and I have kept the commands from YV. I think I can change this to him to be more correct, because we know he's talking about him. So we know who he's talking about. I don't think, I'm thinking, I'm just thinking that way, that we know it's our Creator he's talking about, but he wouldn't say his name at this time. I did not part from my Creator. All his commands were before me. All his commands were done by me. All his commands I did. All his commands, because they aren't before him. That word is, so all his commands I done. I got to change this to I, and then done. And this will be gray text that I've added completely. This is just an I, little one. And it goes like this. So this is out. Commands I done. So I can take this and I'll stick it up here. And come down here, clean it back up. Okay. I did not depart from my Creator. All his commands I done, and I did not turn away from his order. For I did not, all I done for, this has to be changed to for. Oops, for. Get rid of that. For I did not turn, I don't need away. I did not turn from his orders to me. I did not turn from his orders. I don't need these words here either. So let me go up here and correct that. And now take care of it down here. Because at the end I usually don't want to go through and try to just take a few words out in the next cleanup. For I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn away until they were no more. I think those words are correct. So I haven't been able to think of better words. For he has strengthened me in battle. Till they were no more. For he has strengthened me for battle, and has subdued them under me, those who rose up against me. Under me, and subdued them under me who rose up against me. So I don't need the word those. They cried for help, but there was none to save them. Their God did not answer them. As soon as they hear it's me, they obeyed and submitted to me. Whoops, green. I have tried. Yeah, I got that up there. I already done that. Okay, that's a save. And I can get rid of these numbers now. They're just bothering me when I'm reading. And I'll take the text and push it below that break line, even though I got it set up for 20-inch pages. I don't have to do this much, but every once in a while it has to be done like that. Okay, he delivered me from my strong enemies, from those who hated me and who were too mighty for me. He rescued me because he chose me, and I have kept the commands from him. I'm needing a 6-point. I try to put a 6-point here, and then here. This one actually needs 2 of them to space, because that kind of groups together. They were too mighty for me, then he rescued them. And then, did not part from my Creator, all his commands I done. This ties to that one, for I did his orders. He rose up against me. This is almost like it's going like this. Oh, that is right. Okay. And this hooks to here. And this one is a double. Okay. He delivered me from my strong enemy, from those who hated me and were too mighty for me. He rescued me because he chose me, and I have kept the commands from him. I have kept his commands. And I have kept his commands from him. Yeah. That I like, even though I kept his commands from him. Okay. Gotta get the back up here. Save all that. He rescued me because he chose me, and I have kept his commands from him. I did not depart from my Creator. All his commands I done, for I did not turn from his orders. For I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn away until they were no more. For he has strengthened me for battle, and has subdued them. And he has subdued them under me, who rose up against me. They cried for help, but there was none to save. Their God did not save them. So as soon as they heard it was me. As soon as they heard it was me. Yeah. Got to put that D on the end of that. As soon as they heard it's me, they obey and submitted to me, and came and came and come trembling from their fortress. They obeyed and submitted to me, and came out trembling. I'm going to say this needs to be that they came out here trembling. This has got to be like that. So let me take that word. Oops, what did I do here? I took the V off here. Well, I can grab that from up here, I guess. This, wanted to add, change this letter to came. Copy this. Come back down here. Yeah, it gets like this at the end. Okay. As soon as I give thanks to YV, for among the tribes I praise his name. Gotta be his. Okay, he delivered me from my strong enemies, from those who hate me and were too mighty for me. He rescued me because he chose me, and I have kept his commands from him. I did not depart from my Creator, all his commands I done, for I did not turn from his orders. For I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn away until they were no more. For he has strengthened me for battle, and has subdued them under me, who rose up against me. That's a little strange reading. Maybe this verse goes at the top. Those who rose up against me, he strengthened me for battle, and has subdued them under me. Yes, that verse reads better up here. Who rose up against me, he has strengthened me for battle, and has subdued them under me. This goes down, this goes period, this goes comma, this goes period. This is going to be gone. So now I need to go up and do that adjustment up here, or up above. So how I do that is I make a note, move verse up 2 verses. Then I'll take this and I'll copy it, but I'll make it a 9 point, and then stick it here, moved verses, moved 2 verses here. And then because I've done this and I've had to juggle around a lot, I'm going to color them so they have the same color in helps the reader out, or those who are going to study this later. Whoops, I didn't get rid of the word for. Okay. This I can say for sure. Words from David in his old age. That's where that text comes from. We now know exactly where this text comes from. Maybe it would be even his last words that were written. No, I guess he's got the words written for Solomon. I have kept his commands from him. I did not depart from my Creator. All his commands I done, for I did not turn from his orders. For I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn away until they were no more. Who rose up against me? He has strengthened me for battle and has subdued them under me. They cried for help, but there was none to save. Their God did not save them. As soon as they heard it's me, they obey and submitted to me. They obeyed. I forgot the ED here. When I did the other one, I should have realized that. As soon as they heard it's me, they obeyed and submitted to me. They came out trembling from their fortresses. I want to say, so I give thanks to YV, for among the tribes I pray. No. Yeah, it's just the way it's going to be. I give thanks to YV, for among the tribes I praise his name. I think that one's done. Well, let's see here. Okay, and I think I can get a screenshot for that, and you guys can't see that. It needs to be down one more for you guys. There it is. And I'm going to put up a review of those ones that I have found, and then I'm going to close down for the night. And this stream was for 2 hours and a half, 225. So, but I will splice it and then post it on YouTube 48 hours later. The rules by Twitch, or yeah, Twitch TV. So, but we out of all that crap that was found in the beginning, I didn't try to just throw it all out, and I think these are words from David in his old age, recapping his glory, or recapping his might, I would say, his might. Oh, so good to hear and see those words.